You know, I don't ever scroll. I'm not a doom scroller. It's just not my thing. So one of the rare times that I actually was on Threads, and within the first 5 minutes, the algorithm just inundated me with these big YouTube names that we all know. And each of these are problematic. Being a YouTuber versus a filmmaker.
Like your TV show, what was it called?
Dog times. The first thing that really started grinding my gears within the first 5 minutes of being on Threads was this thread started by Jacob Owens. And this is a little wild to me, and he was getting quite a bit of shade from a lot of people, including myself, in the comments. But we are going to break this down because it's what he said later on in the thread that really started making my mind turn. And then, like literally, this all happened within 5 minutes, okay? Then I saw this thread from Cam Mackey. Well, if you know anything about Cam Mackey's drama and that Blaze R anamorphic world, we're going to get into that a little bit too. Here's the one that really opened my eyes, okay? And this is Patrick Tomaso. I'm not sure how to pronounce his name. He makes wonderful breakdowns. I've only watched a few of his videos, to be honest. I don't watch a lot of camera YouTubers. I just don't. My YouTube is full of stand-up and skateboarding, to be quite honest with you. And right now, Diddy stuff. I like Patrick's stuff. And in fact, I like all three of this guy's stuff. They're all talented guys in their own right. But what struck me the most is he put this little reel up and it said, "Damn, this edit is fire." And I thought, oh, I wonder who shot this, you know? And then I look and it's his tag, it's his handle. He shot this, right? So then that prompted me to say to him, like, did you call your own edit fire? Shaking my head. These YouTubers are out of control. What woke me up is what Patrick responded with. He said, "Us YouTubers, asterisk." And my first knee-jerk reaction was to be angered by this. If you're on this channel, if you're one of the subscribers already, you know exactly why that would make me get angry. I don't like to be associated with these big content creator guys. I just don't. I hate identifying as a YouTuber. I just do. The world of YouTube and filmmaking, in my mind, are not synonymous. If you're a YouTuber, you're a YouTuber. If you're a filmmaker, you're a filmmaker. Now, you can certainly be both of those things, but you have to understand how to differentiate the two. And that goes for the audience as well. You have to remember, when you're watching a YouTuber, they may be a filmmaker in other aspects of their lives, but in that moment, in this moment for me, right here, right now, I am being a YouTuber. Right? I'm not being a filmmaker. Even if this was a video where I'm out showing you behind the scenes or something, it's still being a YouTuber. We're all hyper aware of what my gaffer calls the ego cam. Anytime there's a behind the scenes camera on set, shout out to my gaffer here in LA, David Goodman of Goodman Grip and Light. He's always saying, hey, there's the ego cam, because he's old school. He gets it, right? I mean, his first movie that he worked on was Titanic. And to be honest, it is an ego thing. YouTube is a very egotistical thing. We are all the host and producers of our own show. Holy cow, that's tantalizing. That's exciting. For me, I grew up being an actor. I started acting when I was a teenager. Finally get to be the host of my own show. That's what every YouTube channel is. The statistics don't lie, okay? In our current year of 2024, more people are choosing to watch YouTube than Netflix. No matter how high end of a production value any YouTube channel may have, it's still a vlog. It's still a YouTube video. And when I say it's still a vlog in the sense of it's created by that one person's mind. They may have a little team that work around them, but at the end of the day, that is their show. They're the Jay Leno. It's their machine that they're running. Whatever sponsorships they have, whatever brand ambassador deals they have, that's all going to influence what they put out, especially for gear filmmaking related channels. The only way to really make a full-time income in our camera world of YouTube is to get those deals, to get those sponsorships. And we've seen guys like Cam Mackey admit to us in a live stream a couple years back how he was setting out to be a full-time YouTuber. That was words out of his mouth.
I have like countless of videos that there's partially stuff filmed for it. There's stuff where I'm trying to get like sponsors for it just because like I'm trying to go more full-time with the YouTube stuff.
But if you're a smart YouTuber and your goal is to be a full-time YouTuber, well, then you're not going to do exactly what you're most passionate about, are you? You may find a way to sprinkle that in, but those videos are never going to give you what you want in terms of income, in terms of numbers, in terms of clicks and shares. You got to keep feeding the machine. Well, to do that, you got to play the game. And there's a lot of guys out there that are hip to that. Even though my numbers are very small, you know, at the time of this video, I only have 38,000 subs. It's a pretty small channel when it's all said and done, but I still have a hint of it. Companies still send me shit. I just turned down a contract today. But at the end of the day, big YouTubers like Patrick here, he's identifying me as one of him, as one of them. And I go, well, damn, I guess I can't avoid that, can I? Because I'm a product of my environment. You might say, well, why did you say that to Patrick? Well, because I don't look up to YouTubers. I don't. That's why I don't watch their shit. I look up to guys like Tarantino. I look up to Robert Rodriguez, and I look up to Deakins. A lot of you here look up to Roger Deakins. I look up to those guys, Joel Meyerowitz. I look up to these guys. Joel Meyerowitz is a street photographer. Those are my heroes. Those who I aspire to be like. Those are who I'm going to study. From what I know about all of them, well, minus Tarantino, because he's pretty pompous. He's very confident, right? Besides Tarantino, most of the guys you would never hear Deakins going, hey, did you see 1917? It's fire, mate. I know that's a horrible English impersonation. Doing accents was never my thing. Real artists, to me, don't brag about their work. And because that's the school that I come from. So that's why I said that. I believe that artists should hold themselves with an extreme amount of humility. Some of you may disagree with that. You may say, no, it's good. You need confidence, which is true. You do need confidence. I'm one of the most self-deprecating, low self-esteem, very depressed people that I know. So let's get into this Jacob Owens thread, because this is so fucking interesting. He started this thread 23 hours ago, okay, so this is not old. He says, enough with the flashy FX and transitions. Let's get back to putting the emphasis on the story and framing. On a base level, like, yeah, that's true. That's a cool thing. And Jacob is a very talented dude, but Jacob is also really good at being a businessman. The influencer is very different from the filmmaker, okay? So Jacob starts this thread because he's talking about the soul of being an artist. This is very true. A lot of people need to focus on story. That is very basic. Everyone gave him shade for this, even me. I said, don't you own a company with FX in the name, right? And everyone else is saying, you just put out a big ad for transition effects that you're selling. Everyone knows how ridiculous that is. And if you know the history of Jacob Owens and, all that happened during 2020 with the filter gate thing where, he saw a streak filter during the game and he thought that's our filter, but it wasn't their filter. It was a Schneider filter, because Schneider was making those streak filters way before FX. But because Jacob is in his own little bubble, he thinks, oh, all these filters are mine. But you got to give him the benefit of the doubt. He's a business guy, and he's excited. He has this company. It's one of those things, I don't know why he fought it so much. He's already created this kind of Mr. Beast mentality in the camera world that we're in. I hate to say that, but that's what it feels like. But look at this. Someone really called him out down here. Haha, but I literally just saw your ads on IG for flashy FX transitions. Jacob responds with, feed the consumers what they want and make your $signs. In my mind, I'm like, well, what is it, Jacob? Right? Do you care about the story, or do you care about giving what the audience wants? Do you care about the money? The artist shouldn't be concerned with the money. It's fine if you want to be one way or the other, but you can't be both. You can't literally in the same thread talk about how you care about story, but then also turn around and go, give the consumer what they want. You got to make that money, yo. You're contradicting yourself here. That's what podcasters are infamously famous for. Joe Rogan, he will pander to whoever is sitting across from him. But again, Jacob Owens is an insanely talented guy. He keeps really talented people around him. Jacob Owens actually has IMDb credits, okay, which is a big deal in my belief. And, he shot a whole football series. He's a talented guy, but he's also a businessman, okay? And that's why his thread teeter-totters back and forth like that. Because, the artist in him puts out the original tweet or thread, whatever you want to call it. But then halfway through, he's getting all this pushback, and then his businessman comes out and he's like, that's right, buy my FX transition pack. So that's what I mean. It's two different worlds. And this is hard for creators, for camera guys. We're just camera guys. We don't know anything about running a business. And that's what a YouTube channel is. It is a business. From the moment you start earning ad revenue, you have to report that to the IRS. That is a business. You are now an employee for Google AdSense, but you're on a W-9, so you're a freelancer. It's a business. The same as if you get hired to go take photos or video for another company. We need to all get real with ourselves. We need to keep all of this information in the back of our heads. If they are set out to be a businessman or woman like a Jacob Owens, at the end of the day, he is out there. I mean, he proved in that thread, he is out there ultimately to sell his products to you. The difference is that's literally his business. So you got to give him props for that. But then you have the other kind of the smaller people in our YouTube community, like a Cam Mackey. And his thread was in it too. That's how he got thrown into this too, right? So this is Cam Mackey's thread that he posted. He's saying the haters are gonna want a sip of this Kool-Aid. If you know anything about the history of Cam, he's leaning into this now. He's been kind of pushed out of anamorphic Facebook groups, or kind of led himself to the exit. He takes a lot of heat for these Blazar anamorphic lenses. The reality is, look, he told us
where I'm trying to get like sponsors for it just because like I'm trying to go more full-time with the YouTube stuff.
at the end of the day, that was Cam's choice, right? Now, Cam is a very talented image maker. There's no doubt about that. And a really talented photographer. I do believe that. And I love that he speaks his mind. I'm like that too. But the difference is like, again, smart YouTubers, they know how to create these partnerships. And that's clearly what he's done with Blazar. That's fine. The hard thing for us as audience to figure out is like, look, does he actually genuinely believe in this product like he says he does? Or there's that little critical part of me that's going, yeah, but he's in cahoots with these guys. Of course he's going to push these on us. And of course he's going to provoke the haters into sipping the Kool-Aid or whatever the hell he's trying to say with that thread, right? That's the point. He is in partnership with the Blazar. Some guys are really, really good at sliding ads in their videos. You think the video's about something else and then you realize 5 minutes in like, oh, this is a huge commercial. I am not innocent of that. We as YouTubers have all done that. But we as audience members need to recognize that and understand that. Yes, YouTube is a business. This is what I'm saying. There is a difference between filmmaker and YouTuber. And when there is a filmmaker being a YouTube channel, he's now no longer a filmmaker. He is a YouTuber. When he's out on the field, when he's on set in a working capacity, there he is a filmmaker. It's a huge difference, you know, looking at YouTube as a film school. And guys like Shane Hurlbut, he was kind of forced into that. Well, if you know the history of Shane Hurlbut, it's because Christian Bale kind of ruined his career. Let's be real here. If you all know the meme of Christian Bale yelling at someone, that's who he was yelling at. He was yelling at Shane Hurlbut.
The fuck are you doing? Are you professional or not?
Yes, I am.
What don't you get about it?
I was looking at the light.
Oh, good for you. And how was it? Fuck's sake, man, you're amateur.
Well, ironically, Shane Hurlbut now makes way more money. He's probably making way more money than he was when he was shooting, you know, Need for Speed or something. And here's the deal. He is still shooting the occasional Netflix movie. He does. But I'm telling you, Shane Hurlbut has created an empire out of being a content creator, the host of his own show, the Film Academy Shane Hurlbut. The personality of him there may be similar to his personality when he's on set, but I can guarantee he has differentiated the two. Maybe not. Because at this point, he's in it now, right? He's in it. He's in it full swing. For all I know, it may be part of his contract now. Like, oh, you got to let me shoot a certain amount of BTS on this project or whatever the case may be. Who knows what he has cooking up? He's able to pull that weight now. But he's earned it. As audience members, I think it's important to identify that. Every YouTuber, including myself, is earning money while they're talking. A lot of people don't want to admit that, but that's the reality of it. And here's the biggest thing about it. Me speaking to you from the inside, ad revenue alone is not going to make you a full-time YouTuber. If you think you're going to make a living just off of ad revenue, you have to have huge numbers, like huge numbers in terms of view count and subscriber count and likes and shares. They have to be huge to make a full-time California living off of ad revenue alone. The only way to be a full-time YouTuber is to have those partnership deals, have those sponsorship deals.
Let me put this into perspective for you guys, okay? Because if you're not a YouTuber, you won't understand this. Look how small Cam's numbers are. Okay, yeah, he may have 100,000 subs, but look at his views. Guys, trust me, I'm telling you from experience, these views are too small to make a living as a full-time YouTuber. Certainly here in California. The last I heard, Cam lives in California. These numbers, if you were just trying to live off of ad revenue alone, this would only bring you around $500 a month. I'm telling you, these numbers are way too small. These are the numbers I get at 38,000 subs. Let me show you a YouTuber, one of my favorite YouTubers, okay? He's from the skateboard world. This is Gifted Hater. Notice, his subscriber count isn't much larger than Cam's, but look at his numbers on every single video. These are the numbers you would need to actually make a full-time living off of ad revenue alone. Because this guy, notice his name is Gifted Hater, he doesn't have any sponsorships, but look at his numbers, 504,000 views, every single one. None of his videos have less than 100,000 views. These are the numbers you would need to realistically be a full-time YouTuber off of ad revenue alone. This is what I'm talking about, guys. The camera world is too small to do that. That's why they all have to make these gear videos and push the gear. It's not just about subscriber count alone. It's the view count.
Now that'll make you stop and think, okay? So look at all these YouTubers and the gear that they consistently talk about and push and push and push. This is not coincidence. Every time a new product comes out, aperture, whatever, new camera, all the big guys, They all have the same video saying the same shit, and the video drops the same time of the day even. It's just boom, 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 every guy, boom, 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 back to back. That's not coincidence. It's called marketing. As audience members, it's important to identify this. Filmmakers are not YouTubers, and YouTubers are not filmmakers. You can be both. I mean, I would identify as both, but they're certainly not synonymous. It is not the same thing. In fact, I would even go so far as to say that when I'm making this YouTube channel, this is a persona, because to some extent I am acting. I mean, that's the whole point. I got into doing my own, this is my own show. It's my show, man. I'm the producer, I'm everything. That's not just me. That applies to everybody with a YouTube channel on any topic or genre ever, okay? This is important shit to think about. Any YouTuber you're watching or talking about, they do have an agenda to some extent. And in our technology world, majority of the time, that is to try to sell you something, especially if their claim is to be a full-time YouTuber. Again, the only way to do that is by selling shit. I just put out a video on port keys. You guys know Porky's been sending me shit since my Pocket 4K days. I try to be extremely transparent with everything, and I don't cater to the companies. I don't sign contracts. I don't allow pre-screenings of anything. It's not the game I choose to play. That is why I disagree with the other YouTubers that I see playing the game, but at the same time, I can't knock them that bad because I know that they're more financially well off than I am because of it. You can't be offended by what people are saying about it. They're just identifying what they're observing. I mean, that's all literally 5 minutes is all I spent on threads this morning and saw those 3 threads. And it really just, as you can tell, like it just made my mind blow up a little bit. But at the end of the day, I can't separate myself from that community. As bad as I would love to, I can't, because I'm also guilty of all of these things. I just am. I am. I am a little bit different. I'm a little bit more chaotic. I'm definitely less talented than all 3 of these guys. Clearly, I am kind of my own worst enemy. Right? We all know that about me. And I guess the whole point of all of this is to encourage you all to know and identify that, yes, filmmaking world is different from YouTube. And if you want to disagree with me on that, it's very simple. Head on over to IMDb and just start searching any of your favorite big-time YouTubers. The amount of us over there on IMDb is very, very small. Encourage you to see beyond it, because where I get a little bit nervous about it is for our future filmmakers, people that are using YouTube as their education. As scary as that seems to someone like me, because even though I had a master's degree in another field, I went to film school, right? I did that for myself because I believe in a formal education. I'm not saying you need to do that, but if you are getting the bulk of your education for filmmaking off of YouTube, you have to do your research on who the claimed educators are. Because again, in my days of an actor, I would never ever sign up for a workshop or class with someone that didn't exist on IMDb. It would be unheard of. Why? Because it says to me and other artists that these people have no real world experience in the real industry, an industry that they're claiming to be a professional in. To me, it's crazy. Again, I'm old school. I'm an old man. I'm 40 years old. I'm washed up. I'm jaded. You can call me a failed actor. You can call me whatever you want to call. You wouldn't be wrong in that. You can call me whatever you want to call me. Untalented, hack, piece of shit. It's all true. It's all true, right? It's all true. Right? I have a very crazy life, right? I admit that. It's a whole new world of filmmakers. And to me, it's scary because it's like, oh no, we're not really filmmakers anymore. Now we're just YouTubers because they're not the same. We literally see that happen to Jacob Owens in the thread, in the same thread. He starts out being an artist and he ends up selling us shit. Well, real artists, they don't do that. Real artists do what he originally said in the original post. Let's work on story. Let's work on emotion. Let's stop relying on special effects and CGI and flashy transitions. Ironically, that's the shit that Jacob Owens is selling. This is what I mean. Filmmaker and YouTuber is not synonymous. And it is our job as the audience to identify that and know that when we are watching a YouTube video, that is not seeing that filmmaker as a filmmaker in that moment in time. It's seeing them as a YouTuber, just people sharing their experience. I don't care how high-end the production value is. At the end of the day, that's what it is. But more importantly, it's their show. They're the puppet master of it all. That's the reality of it. Any YouTuber. I don't care if you're Johnny Harris or if you're Cam Mackey or if you're little old me, it doesn't matter. Whereas in the filmmaking world, if you are a cinematographer, you're a director of photography, even if you're a director, you are going to be answering to somebody. You are not 100% in control of that image. As much as we would like to be, especially if you're working for a commercial client, you are not in control. of that situation. It's a big difference. It's a different world to one, get hired on a job that you are not a producer of. It's a different world to be a crew leader. There is so much more to being a director of photography than just making pretty images that all of my followers will love. In my eyes, that's not what a director of photography is. People that are totally new to the game, they want someone that just knows how to work on a real set, knows how the politics are and how who does what in these positions and what it entails, and understands a shot list and understands about the importance of time and scheduling. All of that is so important. Not enough people are making videos about that because that's not what people want to consume. That's not in the analytics. That's not what the algorithm wants you to push. But in my opinion, anybody doing a YouTube channel has a pretty big ego. That's important to identify. And I hope that just for a second, as bad as you want to punch me in the face, I hope you can see it through my lens, because I'm doing my best to peel back the curtain here and give you kind of this insider view of it all, to where I really am kind of standing in the middle, because there is a part of me that hates being a YouTuber. But then there's that other part of me that goes, Justin, you are a YouTuber, dude. Get over yourself, you know? But I'm going to continue to do my best to just stay true to what I believe in. And if all these guys, that's clearly what they believe in too. I'm not meaning to throw shade at any of those guys. They're all very talented, much more talented than me. They clearly believe in what they're doing, and that's fine. That's their prerogative. That's their machine. They're running it. But as audience members, we can be more aware of the reality of the situation. And I certainly should know better because I'm one of these guys. And again, that's how Patrick kind of, held my face to the mirror a little bit by saying, well, you're YouTubers like us. As bad as I hated to see that and to read that, I couldn't deny that because it's true, And it doesn't matter how small your channel is. If you're making YouTube videos, you are a YouTuber. This is just my observation of it all. Again, you have to remember, I've been acting since I was a teenager. This is all I know. I'm a product of my environment. My vision of things is very, very skewed. So you have to do a little bit more work to educate yourself on who these people are. I'm just identifying the things that I'm observing and how I feel about them. And now I want to know what you think. Thank you. Thank you.
Doesn't matter who we are. What matters is our plan. No one cared who I was till I put on the mask. I am